So am I the only one who didn't know that Flyers goaltender Carter Hart has been suspected of participating in a gang rape from 2018? So, like most of you, I just found out he was criminally charged in Canada with sexual assault. So I'm going to give you a criminal defense attorney's perspective on Carter Hart and his entire situation. Hi, I'm Daniel M. Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney and the founding partner of Rosenberg, Perry & Associates. It's also my personal goal and passion to provide information and education about the criminal justice system before individuals become involved and entrenched in the system. And I just recently learned that Carter Hart was charged criminally with sexual assault, along with 4 other professional hockey players. But that's not from something that happened this year, or last year, or the year before. It's from 2018. So what's been going on since then? So this all started in 2018 when there were allegations about members of Canada's World Junior team that took place after a fundraising gala. And the allegation is that an individual invited a woman back to his hotel room after going to a bar, and then invited several other individuals into that room. At this point, the complaining witness alleges that she was sexually assaulted and forced to participate in these acts. She claims that she felt intimidated and was told she couldn't leave. This took place in London, Ontario, which initiated a criminal investigation, and shortly thereafter, the criminal investigation was closed and no charges were filed. Now that's not an uncommon occurrence because oftentimes this can be a he said, she said. And unless there's any additional corroborating evidence such as DNA, video surveillance, phone calls, text messages, it's very difficult to prove these cases beyond a reasonable doubt. But for whatever the reason, no criminal charges were filed. The alleged victim, who remains anonymous and is only identified by the initials EM, filed a civil lawsuit in 2022 against Hockey Canada. As a result of that lawsuit, there was a lot of attention drawn to these allegations, a lot of publicity, a lot of negative publicity in the manner in which this was handled. As a result, London, Ontario law enforcement reopened its investigation. 5 members of the Canadian World Junior team were charged criminally in Canada. They are Carter Hart from the Philadelphia Flyers, Michael McLeod and Cal Foote, both of the New Jersey Devils, Dylan Dubé from the Calgary Flames, and Alex Fermenton, who currently plays in Switzerland but is a former member of the Ottawa Senators. All 5 were charged with sexual assault and required to voluntarily surrender to law enforcement, and all 5 have taken leaves of absences from their respective teams. So what are some of the issues that Carter Hart and his defense team are going to be dealing with? Well, one is, what is the age of the alleged victim? The individual is under the age of 18. Now we're talking about a juvenile who participated or was forced to participate in this alleged event. And if the individual is under the age of 16, there are enhanced penalties for being under the age of 16 and being a victim of sexual assault. Another concern is, what's the defense going to be? Typically in a sexual assault case, the defenses are generally, I didn't do it, or I did do it, but there was knowing and voluntary consent. Assuming for the sake of argument that this individual is 21 years of age and there's alcohol involved, an issue is going to be consent. You can absolutely consent to sexual activity, but it must be knowing and voluntary, and you must be of sound mind. So if you are intoxicated, there's an argument to be made that you cannot knowingly and voluntarily consent. A significant issue in this case, because there's allegations of alcohol, is, was the alleged victim intoxicated, and did she have the ability to provide consent? Another issue in the case is whether or not consent was given and then later withdrawn. For instance, yes, I consented to this activity, but then when individuals were invited into the room, multiple individuals, I withdrew my consent, and when I wasn't allowed to withdraw consent, that's when this turns from voluntary into involuntary sexual assault. Another issue in this case is going to be the alleged victim's potential motive to fabricate this story. These are all high-profile individuals who have a lot to lose if these allegations are true. Another issue is whether or not all these individuals are going to be tried separately or together, and that's an issue for the defense attorneys to flesh out and litigate in Ontario. So now you know some of the defenses and issues in the case. What exactly is Carter Hart facing if he's convicted? So with the caveat that I don't practice in Canada and I don't know the law in Canada, what I can tell you from my research is that if convicted and this individual victim is above the age of 16, Carter Hart is facing 10 years in prison. If the individual is under the age of 16, it's 14 years in prison. So, the same situation happens in New Jersey. What's Carter Hart facing? 10 to 20 years in New Jersey State Prison, 85% of which must be served without the possibility of parole. He would also be required to register as a sex offender, and he would also be required to participate in parole supervision for life. That means he will remain on parole supervision for the rest of his life. So, very significant allegations, very significant consequences for Carter Hart in Ontario and otherwise. So this is a case we're going to continue to track and watch as it unfolds. I'll continue to provide updates. If anyone has any specific questions they want to know about Carter Hart and his situation, please leave a comment below. Happy to answer any questions you have. So if you or someone you know has been charged with a crime in New Jersey or a sex-related crime in New Jersey, please contact our office. We'll take the time we need to evaluate your case and give you blunt and candid advice. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if there's any topics you'd like to learn more about, please leave a comment below or contact my office. I'd love to hear about it. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.